welcome to the Dice Tower. This is going to be an insane month for us here at the Dice Tower. By the way, I'm Tom Vasel. As we jump, and so this week is a somewhat normal week, although most everyone is off today. There's a lot of stuff going on. Next week is the Autumn Spectacular / World Series of Board Games. The week after that is the Spiel Game Fair at Essen. Right now they're working in here. Hopefully we don't lose power. They're working on in the new studio. Last thing's putting in doing some electrical stuff and other things in there. So once that's done, next step is carpet. Then the next step is actually building it. Okay, so let's go through here. And let's see here. How was your weekend? Did any of your family join on the retreat? Well, most of my family was too young, but my wife came out a day or so. Did I play Magical Athlete at the retreat? Once. You look very well rested. Well, okay. I'm glad, because I don't feel very well rested. But hey, we'll get there. I played Ready, Set, Bet at the retreat a lot. 13 times, I believe. I got a custom board made for it, which I got to figure out how I'm going to store this. But, yeah, we had a lot of fun playing that. I hope. 13 times. So I taught at least 60 to 70 people the game. Hopefully they enjoyed it. Will you host a live show at Essen? We will. It's going to be Friday at 2 o'clock, I think. Not 100% sure if it's 1 or 2 o'clock, but it's one of those two times. Yeah, sorry, Gator Dave, that you missed the retreat, but hopefully you can come next year. The retreat was fantastic. When is not an insane month for the Dice Tower? Okay, well, I get that, but I mean, this month is more insane than not. Who is on your shirt? I think this is Thor. My daughter bought this for me. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Thor. Let's see here. Did you catch the Queen's funeral at all today? No, I did not. I don't actually watch TV. I mean, I watch TV shows, I suppose, but I don't watch a lot of, like, network TV, which is where I would suppose that was being broadcast on. So I think Ragnarok's art looks like Adventures in Odyssey art. I don't. That may be the only time in the history of humanity those two things would be compared to each other. Greetings from the Doubletree. Tabletop Toolbox is still in the Doubletree. By the way, this is a Q&A. I answer questions if you have any. So if you have any, let me know, and I will answer them. Do your older kids babysit the younger ones? Yeah, that happens occasionally. Like the new intro music. Did you pick it out? Yeah, I got all kinds of... You know, we have the Dice Tower theme is being made into so many different styles now. I'm really happy with that. We got a horror-themed one, which will be the theme music for our Autumn Spectacular next week, which will be horror-themed. The next retreat will be September 5th, or 4th, I think, actually, 2023. Does the Dice Tower ever take recommendations? Almost never. There was a game my family and I really liked. Says Ethan, that surprisingly has been covered by Dice Tower yet. Or do you guys only cover recent stuff? We only cover recent stuff. We go back sometimes. We can't cover everything. It's impossible to cover everything. And, you know, there's 10, 20, 30,000 different games out there. We'll never catch up. Nah. I really enjoy baseball highlights. What other baseball games would you recommend? There's not a lot of good baseball games. There's all the simulation ones, and I don't know which of those is the best. I've messed with a few of them, looked at them. I find them interesting, but they're fairly complex and involved. For shorter, simple ones, there's Bottom of the Ninth. There's a couple, but there's not many, frankly. Have you ever been to drive-in movies? You know, I've never gone, not once. What game did you play that you were most surprised to play at the retreat? None. I'm not often surprised by games at the retreat because I usually pick out the ones I want to play. I don't think there's any. Pickup and delivery seems like it's a mechanism that is not very well in regards to popularity. If you agree, I don't agree. Are there any insight on why? I don't know that it's any less popular than anything else. I mean, one of the most popular game series, Railways of the World, Age of Steam, all use pickup and delivery. There's a lot of games that have it. Sometimes it's kind of hidden in the background where you're just getting something here and taking it over here. But I don't think it's a disregarded theme at all. The top games you can play in bed. Well, first of all, sorry, you'll be laid up for 6 weeks. That I wouldn't know because I haven't done it much. So I wouldn't be a good one, but I'd go on Facebook and ask there. Are we going to PAX? Yes, we're going to be at PAX Unplugged this coming December. What's it like when you do a negative review, but you also know the designer well? Well, I mean, it's not fun. The designer's not very pleased about it, but you got to treat it like every other one. Did your storage unit come with AC or did you have to install it? We had to get it installed. Let's see here. Are you going to have more guest hosts? Actually, probably not. I have such a good team here at the Dice Tower that we're going to run stuff here from the Dice Tower. I'm not saying we'll never do guest hosts. If it happens, it happens. But it's expensive to fly people in. It's really expensive to fly people in and to put them up and everything. And you know, we got a good team here. So I feel like that would be wasteful to bring in special guests all the time. All right, first of all, anything about shows, I never really talk about shows till they are finished. I've not played Age of Atlantis. Fox Experiment, the rules were sent to us from the company. Would you like to play a board game with me at Dice Tower Con? Maybe, but you gotta catch me. I never schedule board games. What's the best part of the retreat is meeting all friends. When you go to the retreat, everyone there seems like they are your friend. And if you don't mind, folks, I'm going to go grab myself my water here. Sorry about that. Worst part of retreat? Setting up and tearing down, I guess. Other than that, the retreat's fantastic. Which people from the Dice are coming to Essen? Me, Kenny, Z, Mike, Chris, Camilla. Yes. Is there a hip-hop version of Dice Tower theme? Not next, or yet, or maybe ever. I don't really like hip-hop. But you never know. How many games were new to you this weekend? I don't know, maybe 10? Have you thought about making Dice Tower seals in 3 categories? Normal, kids, and solo. We already have a kids seal of approval. So we don't have a solo one. We've talked about it. Maybe. Is there any better gaming than early morning gaming? There is not. Did I back the new Rivet Wars update Kickstarter? No, I don't have Rivet Wars in the library, and I didn't think it would be one I would want to put in the library. I like Rivet Wars. It was a fun 2-player miniature style game, but those don't get played much at our conventions. Let's see here. There's a lot of questions. Sorry, I'm not answering everything. What were some of my favorite cartoons from the 80s? G.I. Joe, Transformers, Mask, Seven Cities of Gold, the entire Disney afternoon, although that might be 90s. That's 90s, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, those are the 80s ones, I think, for me. Do we really need one more Dune-themed game? Says Nels. Then he coughs for some reason as he's typing. And then says Simon. So I don't know that we need another Dune-themed game, but I also don't know why it matters. We have 700 billion Zombies games, hundreds of Star Wars games, Marvel games. I don't feel like the Dune licenses, there's still less than 10 games, so I think we'll be okay. And it is done by the designers of War of the Rings, so it sounds really good. But hey, maybe you don't need another Dune-themed game. If your house was turned upside down and shaken, what would fall out more, game components or kids' toy pieces? Well, game components, because most of my kids are teenagers, so they don't have toys. Why rank games in 0.5 increments? Ratings are obviously opinions. But I feel like 50 games getting a 9, it's hard to differentiate between them all, no? I don't understand that question. 50 games getting a 9. Let's see here. Should upgrade my Wingspan game. If you'd like it. Have you ever stopped the game midway through because of an obnoxious player? Twice. Let's see here. Will you ever redo the top 10 ridiculous components? Maybe. The board cube, I forgot about that. What happened to our board cube? We didn't keep it. We don't have it now. Oh, the Red Dragon Inn from Slugfest Games. Well, I can review it real quickly for you. I don't like it. It's just a take-that style game, and I know a lot of people really enjoy it, and it has a gazillion expansions, but I'm not a big fan of it. Let's see here. Do you put up illustration prints you bought from conventions in the office, or do you keep them at home? It's kind of a split. There's many here at the office and many at home. How is your favorite employee at the Dice Tower? Well, my wife's not here right now, but I'm sure she's doing fine. Did I see that Phase 10, among others, was nominated for the Toy Hall of Fame? Yes, we'll be talking about that in our news segment on our Thursday board game breakfast. What are your favorite kinds of cheese? I get asked this question like every 4 episodes, it seems. I don't know. I just like, baby Swiss is good. Horseradish cheddar, 5-pepper, 3-pepper, 2-pepper. I like most cheeses. Munster. Ever have someone bring a game shrink wrapped having not read the rules to a game night? I do that. If you could visit any board game city, where would you go to play that game there? I don't think so. I would like to visit cities, but I would not want to go to a city just to play the game there. That feels a little too on the nose for me. My girlfriend hates board games but loves cruises. Is there enough events to keep her occupied on Dice Tower Cruise to bring her with? Well, sure. If you think about it, it's still a cruise. The cruise part hasn't changed. So there's plenty of things to do. Are you going to back Wonderland's War? Well, last I checked, we have Wonderland's War in the library. Maybe there's a new Wonderland's War. Yeah, it's not out yet. Shards of Madness, an expansion. You know, I am so not that pumped about expansions these days for things. Wonderland's War is so full of stuff, so many characters, so many things. An expansion seems like overkill. Maybe it won't be, but I don't know. I'm torn about the new Fox Experiment game. Do you find it weird that breeding has a theme game, or is it just you? Well, that's not a dichotomy there. So, no, I didn't think it was weird, but it's probably not just you. I'm going to be showing games at a booth at Comic-Con in Quebec. Do you have any tips for me? Make them as simple to play as you can and as fast as you can to play. Is there any particular game upgrade you've added to the library that you're particularly proud of? Wow, man, I got so many that I'm proud of. Well, I mean, this one. I mean, I can't be, I'm proud that they're in the library, but I didn't actually make almost any of the upgrades. I don't make them. I just buy them or find them. So I'm proud of the people who make them. No toys because they're teenagers? I'm an adult and I have toys. Yeah, but I think the question said kids' toys. As Dysart CEO, would you rather attend, host more conventions or more retreats? Oh my word, I'd rather host like 30 retreats a year. But we can't do that because then we wouldn't have a Dice Tower show. But I would love to host lots of retreats. They're very fun. Why do you not wear t-shirts more often? I don't like to. I'm only wearing one today because I'm moving a lot of boxes around here in the office. What's the status of shipping rewards from the Dysart Kickstarter? Well, we said in the Kickstarter that our goal was to get them out by December, so that is still our plan, maybe earlier, but right now everything is on schedule, I hope. Hello, in recent years I've seen some games I've been excited about never get reviewed by the Dice Tower. Sons of Pharaoh, Polis, etc. Curious about your selection process. Can you talk about it? Well, I mean, first of all, if we don't get sent the game by a company, it might not get reviewed. Even if we do get sent the game by a company, it might not get reviewed. We just kind of pick ones that we're interested in. I never feel awfully bad about that because I feel, and this is a bit of hubris and I apologize, I feel we review more board games than all the rest of board game review channels put together. So we review a lot. We can't get to all of them. So we just pick the ones we're interested in talking about. That's most games. But, you know, some games just don't make the cut. But I can't sit there and agonize that I haven't played a certain game. You know, I've seen people before, they talk about, I got to play these games. I can't think that way, really, because you'll never get to all the games. So I just don't worry about it too much. Have you guys talked about designing a board game together as one big studio? No. Let's see here. Am I worried about the resale value of the home studio since you got rid of the garage? No. Is there somewhere you can find the upgrades you have in your games? I really like some of the ones we saw this weekend. Well, sure. I do a video called How I Fixed a Game, Game Fixins, I think it's called. And I show them and where I got them in that video. What makes a good board game trailer? I gotta be honest, I haven't really thought about this much. Mostly because I'm not a trailer kind of guy. Although my wife and I lived in a double wide. That's probably what it is. I'm kind of, opposed to that. But if I had a board game trailer, a good one, well, you'd have a room for a table. And then I'd have one part of the trailer would be like a little spot for you to play board games. And then there would be a table and chairs for people to play in the other end of it. Yeah, you got to make sure the stuff doesn't fall over when you drive it around. But I think that would be something you could fix. But I don't know what I would say is a good board game trailer. Air conditioning, but that's what I would consider to be a good board game trailer. Is there any meal you like to have at Essen because there's nothing quite like it around home? Well, German food. There's not a lot of German food here in Miami, Florida. When will we get to watch marble racing again? It will happen again. I'm still working on it. Let's see here. We're having a hard time getting people out to our weekly game night. What can I do to attract more people? Advertise on Board Game Geek, Facebook, spread the word, bring people, play games with people who you might not think even like games. You never know. Would you rather upgrade pieces for a great game? Yes. Or buy a new expansion that you would love? Upgrade pieces for sure. Will you be bringing merchandise to Essen from the Kickstarter campaign? This year's Kickstarter campaign? No. From previous years, a little bit, but not a lot because we're flying overseas. How would you compare Dice Tower West to Origins? Are the Dice Tower conventions more about playing games? Well, you answered your own question there. So there you have it. It's all about playing games. Now, there's a lot of playing games at Origins for sure, but that's the main focus of Dice Tower Con. Let's see here. For someone coming to one of the bigger conventions to play games, how would you recommend choosing a game to play? Especially since there's so many games to choose from. I don't know how to answer questions like these. Just grab a game. I think sometimes people put too much thought into this. Like, why would... Like, I don't mean to jump on you, Jacob, but why are you asking this? How do I recommend choosing a game to play? I go, I'll pick that one. That seems like that's how I would choose a game to play. I'm a little confused as to, I can't recommend how to choose a game. Pick a game you want to play. Question for anyone. Where is Essen? Essen, without an S at the end of it, is a city in Germany where the Spiel, which is the German word for game, but it's a big game convention in Germany. And Americans, for some reason, decided to name the convention after the city. I tried not to do it, but I forget all the time. Yes, we'll be at Essen. We're going to Essen. I'm going to the Essen Game Fair. Just the way that it's turned out to be. It's harder to mic up on a t-shirt as well. Evidence provided. Well, maybe. What ship were you on when you did Dysart Cruise last January? We were on the Oasis, I believe. When is the schedule for the next spectacular getting posted? By the end of this week, maybe? You think Vasel's law would apply to World of Yo-Ho for an expansion? Well, I don't have any laws about expansions, so that doesn't make any sense. What things have won awards or praise, games, movies, shows, that you are bewildered how beloved they are? Well, I'm still kind of mind-boggled that Pictures won the Spiel des Jahres. But like all the stupid stuff that's been nominated for the Toy Hall of Fame. Dirt, a stick, a blanket. Just makes me roll my eyes. It's so dumb. Well, miking t-shirts is a bit of a pain, but what we have here, I use the glasses. So this little magnet thing that you put your glasses in like this for t-shirts or whatever shirt you have. So we have this, and then, so it's actually on a little bit. I turn it sideways, and it works really well at holding a mic. Once it gets in there anyway. There you go. Not so bad. That's pointing away from me a bit. Sorry, since I moved this around. You're supposed to set up before you start the recording. Bill, it's delicious. Who is Who's the biggest alpha gamer from the Dice Tower when it comes to co-op games? Roy. Is there a game you feel you should have played by now but haven't and perhaps may never get played? Possibly. There's games like that. A lot of them we have on our Catch-a-Palooza list. Thoughts on Elden Ring board game being announced? Can Steamforged pull it off this time? The track record is not particularly good. It's going to have good models. What kind of chairs do you prefer for board gaming? Church chairs. Church chairs are just fantastic. They're solid. They're nice. Do you ever have conventions or retreats in the West Coast? Sure. Dice Tower West in Las Vegas. Let's see here. What will be the new features of the Garage Studio? You're just going to have to wait and see when it's done. Let's see. Aside from Vicious Fishes, are there any other games you helped design? I helped design nothing personal. Yeah, a lot of people are mentioning that you can make food to entice people over to your game nights. Do you have any small frustrations with board games? Yes, hundreds of them. We've done lists on them. I'll give you one that bothered me this week, and that's where are a player aid for every person, every game, every time. Every game. It should just be a law. I don't care how simple the game is. Put a player aid in for every player. With the new shed, are you worried about the humidity and the games you're storing in there? No and no, because we have an air conditioner in there. Let's see here. My wife says my board game hobby is out of control and I need to get rid of some games. I currently have 60 board games and she says I only need 20. What's a good way to choose? Keep your 20 favorite games. Or the 20 you think you'll play the most. Let's see here. Tom, we are still at the retreat. Where did all the games go? Well, they're being unpacked as we speak. Key Lime Pie is a super chat from Driftwood. Key Lime Pie is amazing. Regarding alpha player, Roy just seems stoked. Can you help distinguish a stoked player from an alpha player? I don't know what stoked means. Do you mean excited? I know what alpha means, an alpha player. I don't think alpha player and excited are like different. You can be an excited alpha player. You could be a bored alpha player, I guess. Will Gloomhaven ever move out of number 1? What would it take? Is it even possible? Says people after. Will Twilight Struggle ever move out of number 1? Will Puerto Rico ever move out of number 1? Will Pandemic Legacy move out of number 1? Is it possible? It's possible because it's happened before. Any suggestions at where to eat at Essen? No, but I like the food courts that are in the Essen itself. With the new shed, should we be concerned with shed monsters like the last place? Nope. All the shed monsters are killed. What will be the first game you'll play with your grandchild? I have no idea. I make no plans for that. It may happen in a year. It might happen in 4 years. Who knows? Does your family do anything fun for fall or Halloween? I used to build a box maze every year. I've stopped doing that. Now, not particularly. The kids do stuff, go out, and I'll probably run the marble races at our local area for people to watch and race their horses. I mean, race the marbles, not horses. Are you a little sad that you no longer have to say shut the door during reviews? I never had to say it. Can a player be stoked? What is it with this word stoked? Who uses stoked? Maybe I'm too old for this. Someone needs to explain what stoked means. If stoked means excited, then just say excited. I guess I don't. I mean, it's an odd descriptor of a person, I think. Any advanced thoughts on Quantum Leap coming back starting tonight? I have no idea what you're talking about. Let's see here. Do you ever make custom inserts? Almost never. I don't really like custom inserts. That's not a knock. I know a lot of people like them. People love inserts, and that's great. To me, inserts are a pain. I throw them out. I like to bag all the stuff in my games, or use my little plastic containers. I want a game to be able to be pulled out of the box and played quickly, and stored either horizontal or vertically. And it seems like inserts kind of mess with that a lot. Inserts are great. There's a lot of people out there making great inserts. They're just not for me. Let's see here. What are Chief Sokotoa? It's Sokotoa. It's S-O-H-C-O-A-T-O-A. C-A-H. Sorry. S-O-H. Now, I'm getting me wrong. S-O-C. No. S-O-H-C-A-H-T-O-A. Sorry. That's how his name's spelled. Anyway. His favorite game is... it's a bad translation. Translate to English, it is the game which will end all other games, but not today. That's the name of it. That's kind of, we don't call it that, though. I don't think anyone calls it that. I apologize. I don't know the meaning of the word stoked. I just don't hear it often used as a descriptor of a person. You might say it yourself, right? I get it. Like, I'm stoked to do this. But I don't be like, oh, Joe, he's stoked. Not as he might be stoked to go to Disney World, but I don't know it as like a general descriptor. All right, fine. I guess it is my fault for even saying the word stoked. I just don't. It's just not a descriptor that I use for people in board games, that's all. All right, I'm done talking about that. It's nonsense. All right, let's see. How do you avoid glare on board games? I don't look at them. Let's see here. Are excited people always alpha gamers? No. Can you be excited and not an alpha player? Yes. Oh my word, yes. They're not even close to the same. Yeah, that's true. I think stoked is a new word that people say instead of excited. Is the Dice Tower studio visitable? Not now, it's pretty messy. Do we ever have people just show up? No, and I would be very annoyed if I did. Don't ever just show up at the studio, please. But if you do want to come by the studio, you can always email me if you're in the area and ask. And if we are free, we'll let you come by for a visit. But it's kind of like your workplace. You wouldn't want people showing up and you messing up your workplace, unless your workplace is like Friendliest ice cream or something. What are your thoughts on wooden boxes to replace the original board game box? I don't know that I love them. They get damaged pretty easily. How many games were you able to play during the retreat? I played at least 20, I think. Well, that's not counting the 13 games of Ready, Set, Bet. Hello, Tom. Good morning. Greetings from Mexico. Do you think the Dice Tower seals have lost some exclusivity because of the number of games and people reviewing? No, but I've never tried to make them exclusive. We just try to make them games that if a game is good, we give it a seal. I don't care. Answers are frustrating if they don't allow for the existing expansions, but they can fit in a box without. Well, yeah, I get that. But, you know, not everyone buys the expansion, so I don't know if it's that big of a deal. Let's see here. Since most people view Dice Tower through mobile, do you think having more close-ups for playthrough? I don't understand this question exactly, but I think what you're saying is since most people watch on a tiny screen, maybe we should zoom in when we did a playthrough. We could, but that would require me to hire another employee to zoom the cameras in all the time. Because also, it almost needs to be pre-recorded sometimes for that to work. Let's see here. How far in advance should one contact you before wanting to visit? Like the very second that you know that you're coming to the area and wanting to come. But again, you need to be aware that I might say no because we might be out of town or we might be really busy that week or whatever the reason might be. We're not trying to be rude or exclusive. People have come by the studio before, but it's a place of work. We work here all day long. And if someone comes by and talks for an hour or two, that's disruptive, right? We're not getting as much stuff done. Do you like your tea scalding hot, hot, warm, room temperature, or cold? Hot. Scalding hot's fine sometimes, but I like it hot because I want to actually drink it. James got into a game ready, set, bet within 1 minute of walking in the hall. Well, there you go. Do you already know what games you're going to play for the the Autumn Spectacular? Yeah. And in fact, I'll just tell you what they are. Let me pull it up. We're playing Nightmare Productions, The Wolves, Fate Forge, King of Monster Island, Sorcerer's Arena, Turning the Tide, Arkham Horror, San Francisco, Trollfest, Telestrations, Hamlet the Village Building Game, Castle Panic. We're doing our top 10 horror games. Oceans with the new expansion, Creature Feature, Sagrada Artisans, Ghost Stories, and then we're doing a Game and Talk, which is where we do the pre-recorded playthrough of Cthulhu Death May Die with a giant Cthulhu. It's been played with. That's already played and recorded, and so hopefully you'll enjoy that. Who is your current favorite designer? You know, I don't know, actually. We're going to do our top 10 designers at some point, and I'll sit down and figure it out, but I wouldn't know off the top of my head. Have you ever had another person leave your game midway to join another one that's about to start? I have. Do people need to get over the term overproduced? I grew tired of people saying games were overproduced when it meant they didn't want to pay for the game. Well, sure, everyone uses overproduced in different ways. I'll say a game's overproduced. Sometimes people say things are overproduced. I have a friend who says, I would play games with paper and cardboard. I'm like, well, great, but I don't want to play with just pieces of paper and stuff. I would find it to be very unfun. I like some bling in my games for sure. So overproduced is going to be subjective from person to person. What makes Ready, Set, Bet more fun than Long Shot and Unicorn Fever, for example? Is it different ways to bet? No, I don't know that that's what it is. I think it just has sheer excitement, and that's the whole game. So I think it's better than Unicorn Fever because Unicorn Fever has a bunch of excitement, but that drafting phase in between the excitement isn't as strong. I think it's better than Long Shot for me because it's exciting. And Long Shot's more of a roll and write style game. I'm assuming we're talking about Long Shot, the dice game. I know it's been said, but good job on having the Dice Tower theme song remastered to different styles. It's very enjoyable. Well, I want to give credit. Timothy Pinkham is the original composer of the Dice Tower theme. Did a great job. We appreciate it. And then David Culling is the person who is taking him and doing it in different styles. He's amazing. I say, I would like it in this style. And then he does a really great job at it. In fact, he just sent me the opening notes to the next one. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. All right, this is the next. I'm putting it closer to the mic. This is the one he's working on now. Maybe I should turn up my phone. Hang on. All right. Here we go. This is the one he's working on currently. Isn't that great? I love it. Well, you might not think it's great, but that's fine anyway. Alrighty. Let's go through here. Sorry. Catching up on the different things. Are you a big Cthulhu fan? No, I don't. I think Cthulhu's okay. What's the coolest themed hotel you've ever been to? I don't necessarily go to a lot of themed hotels, but the Universal hotels, I think I've been to all of them, and I like them. I think they're fun. Favorite piece of candy for Halloween? I don't know. I like something that's different. Everyone gives out the same kind of candy, so that's kind of boring. Least favorite, chocolate stuff, because it melts. What's an appropriate punishment for leaving a table in the middle of a game? Well, you know, it's happened to me before. Every time it was someone, it's been somebody who's been like kind of slightly annoying to play with anyway. And most of the time they're like, oh man, I want to go play a game. I was going to do that. And we usually say, go play it. And we'll figure out how to play the game without them. And it's kind of a win-win all around. But I mean, sometimes the game we're playing is terrible and we let people cut out because I don't want to keep subjecting them to this terribleness. But like I said, it's happened very, very few times. Based on your experience with the Gloomhaven app, if Frosthaven came out as both an app and a board game, would you still try the board game or play it exclusively as an app? I would play it exclusively as an app. What kind of car do you drive? I don't know. It's black. It's an SUV. Those are the only two details I know. How do you feel about tiny games? They're fine. If it's a tiny game and it's fine to play tiny, I don't mind. I like bigger games maybe a little bit better, but smaller games like The Crew is one of my favorite games, and that's just a deck of cards. Let's see here. Can you tell us about a few of your favorite gaming experiences at the retreat? Oh, we had a lot of fun playing various games. So I had a lot of fun just trying stuff out. Running all the Ready, Set, Bet. I had some good meals with people. Played a lot of fun games. Played a few bad ones with people that were fun too. I just had a good time. I don't know that I would say there was a few good gaming experiences because I had a good time the entire 5 days. James says, late night gaming is my favorite. We close up the room at the retreat one night, and we're often the last to leave the room on the cruise. That's fine, but I always want to be the first in, if I can. Ooh, I'm suddenly getting thumbs down for some reason. I must be slacking here and answering questions. All right. Let's see here. Looking for questions. Oh, no, we're not putting our music on Spotify. Sorry. Love that music. Sounds like something you would hear at the entrance gate of a theme park. Yeah, that's the kind of the jive I'm going for. Yeah, so I was thinking of Cabana Bay at Universal when I asked. Yeah, I like Cabana Bay. How far is the studio away from the NASCAR Speedway? Have you been there? Yes, I've been there. The studio's a bit away from there. I live within walking distance of the Speedway, my house, so that's kind of cool, except I never go, really, so there's that. Need a Dice Tower Jaws-style theme. Why? Wouldn't you want me to pick themes about good movies? I jest people who think I don't like Jaws. Although I don't love Jaws. I think Jaws is fine. This Mr. Chris Yee says, Florida Problems, chocolate melts at Halloween. No, chocolate always melts. It always melts. You bring it in your home, if you have heaters on, it melts. It gets left out, it melts. Chocolate with children is a terrible combination, period. It melts in their hand. It melts in their faces. It has nothing to do with Florida. It just melts. Should purple always be a player color option? No. Do you have a special toy or treasure from your childhood you still hold on to? No. I had a stuffed animal that I liked a lot. I gave it to my oldest daughter at some point, and I think my wife threw it away at some point when it was broken. I've kept nothing else from my childhood, toy-wise. I don't think. I have a few things, mementos, small things, but nothing toy-wise. What is an aspect of the Dice Tower that is more time-consuming than most viewers would think? Actually, scheduling when stuff goes up takes a long time. What are you most looking forward to this week? I gotta be honest, I'm looking forward to the nights and the weekend because I'm very tired. I have a lot to do here at Dice Tower this week, but I'm just trying to get as much done as we can. I'm catching up on emails. We're unpacking the library. I got to make the schedules for 3 different events simultaneously and work on reviews. Do you think the board that comes with Ready, Set, Bet, says Steven, diminishes the fun quality of the game? Not particularly, because I gave it a 9.5 before I even knew this other board existed. So I was perfectly happy with the other board. I don't know how many games I play on average in a day because some days I play no games and some days I play 15. So I guess I could average it out, but I don't keep track. I'm intrigued about the Ready, Set, Bet game. I see it's getting released soon. Does Autorock sell directly? It will be in retail and online for sure. Would you rather be forced to play Ark Nova with only your foot or your mouth? I guess my foot, because I'd be playing with other people. I would just not play the game. No, no one from Meltscape has contacted me. Does this mean a Dice Tower theme park is underway? Oh, if I was rich, I would make a Dice Tower theme park. A DuckTales theme for the Dice Tower? I'm trying to think how that one will work. Bum 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 bum. Yeah, it might work. That would be fun. Let's see here. Do you play games on the table you're at when not filming? Yes, we do play games. This is a great table. I love gaming here. So I play games on this table as much as I can. It's my favorite table to game on. Back to the Frosthaven app question. If you only play it as an app, but really enjoy it, could it make your top 100 even if you never played the board game version? Yes. But I would probably play the board game version at least once. Do you argue with your family about what game gets to the table on family game night? No. Do you guys have a system on who gets to pick? Sort of. But not a lot of arguments. I just say, hey, who wants to play this game? And then the kids say yes or no. Outside of Dice Tower contributors, who do you play games with in order to create review videos? My family, people that come to my house, people at church, gaming group, whoever. I'll play games with anybody. Save no toys. Surely you have a childhood game you played as a kid. Oh, that's true. That's true. I took a couple games from my dad when my mom passed away. I brought some of the games that I had as a kid. So yes, I have those. But no, other than that, I didn't save toys. I just didn't. I don't know why. What's your least favorite type of player, a player type to play with? Analysis paralysis by a mile. You said that Thursday board game breakfast is going to be just in the studio soon. Does that mean no more Bonacor? Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Mr. Bonacor wants to travel, an hour and a half every Thursday just to come down here and be in the studio. So yeah, unfortunately, that's what that means. And we'll be doing a new show here in the studio. It's going to be similar to Board Game Breakfast, but it's not going to be the same. We'll be changing the name, although for the life of me, I haven't come up with a new name yet. Have I ever played a game with Paul Grogan? Maybe. I know that I've talked to him at conventions and stuff. I've talked to him a lot. I'm not sure I played a game with him. Maybe I have. Let's see here. Will you wear your fedora hat to opening night for Indiana Jones 5? Yeah, probably. A Tailspin theme. Tailspin is great. I don't know which theme song I like better, DuckTales or Tailspin. They're both great. Rescue Rangers is good too. But Tailspin / DuckTales, those are the two best ones. And yes, those are the three top. Gummy Bears is okay. Darkwing Duck is okay. I missed most of Goof Troop, so I don't know what to say about that one. Let's see here. You say, let's see here a lot. Why is that? Because everybody has some sort of thing that they say rather than just be quiet. So I could just say nothing and allow dead air. So I say, let's see here. See, I didn't say anything now. It was just quiet then. What is the limit for attendees at Dice Tower West? I don't know what the limit is this year, actually. I'd have to talk to Tim. But there's plenty of room. Get a ticket. Come on out. Do you ever feel there is too little time for all the good games, RPG series, movies, books, comics, and whatnot that get created nowadays? Sure. But I don't think anyone should do all that stuff anyway. Just pick a few things you enjoy and enjoy them. Let's see. I'll be doing a 4-player Arc Nova teach. What do you think is the best order of the actions to teach? I teach building, and then I teach bringing out the people. The name escaped me, but building is first. Bring out the people, then drawing cards, then animals, and then last associate actions. Will there be more edited videos like the Vagrant Song playthrough? Chris did an awesome job with that. Yes, like I just said, there's going to be one of those next week in the Autumn Spectacular with the Cthulhu Death May Die stuff. Have I ever played a game with Paul Hogan? I have not. I don't believe I met Paul Hogan. Did y'all ever do a top 10 game inserts? No, but I probably never will. No, I'm not calling it Board Game Brunch. TMNT theme song's good, but if I was doing kids' cartoons, I really think DuckTales and Tailspins could possibly be 1 and 2. They're both really good. Although I do like the new one that my kids watch. What's it called? Gravity Falls. That's a pretty good theme song. Animaniacs is fine. That's an interesting theme song. I like that one. Pinky and the Brain is more iconic than Animaniacs. As someone who suffers from bad analysis paralysis but doesn't want to annoy people, how would you recommend overcoming it? Maybe by just making a move. I gotta be cautious here. I don't think people should take a long time. But since I don't do that, I don't know that I'm the best person to be a helpful person. I might ask online. But for me, you just got to realize constantly that people are not going to be criticizing you if you play quote-unquote poorly. There's no money on the game. It's just a fun game. So just make a choice. Let's see here. How do you feel about the surge of IP games feeding in the market these days? There's always been a ton of IP games in the market. There's just more good ones these days. But I mean, when you went back to Toys R Us in the day, all games had IP themes to them. Let's see here. Really enjoyed your super produced Kingdom Death video. So we were just talking about that. We did Townsfolk Tussle, and now we're doing Kingdom Death May Die. Any chance of seeing an 18XX video in the same vein? Oh my word, no. No, 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 no. I can't think I can say no strongly enough for that. First of all, I'm not playing 18XX. But even if I did, you notice we're not making these of Euro games because Euro games are not that particularly interesting to watch. 18XX would be even less so. Jason Levine says he plays a lot of Blood on the Clock Tower online. Do you know what site he uses? Yeah, he's part of the Dice Tower Werewolf Facebook group, which is where a lot of these people get together and game. I knew this was coming. Have you ever played a game with Hulk Hogan? No. No, brother. After your live playthroughs, can you take a few moments to review, talk about the play session instead of quickly ending the videos? No. Not unless it's one that we're just doing for fun. If it's a paid live playthrough, we won't do that because what if we hate it? We're not going to sit there and say, thank you for paying us to play your game. Also, we hate this game. And don't worry, we're not going to hide it. We'll eventually talk about the game when we review it and tell you what we think. But we're not going to do it in our live plays. Why do you think a large number of board gamers are introverts? Because a large number of people are introverts. I don't think there's any larger number of board gamers that are introverts than not. There's no numbers that prove that. So what you're saying is there's a chance. I am saying there's no chance. Let's see here. A lot of these questions, folks, I've already answered. You might have to scroll back a little bit in the Q&A, which is because this Q&A is over. All right, Roy's doing something live with Marvel Champions at 3. That's 2 hours from now. I got to get it back to emptying boxes and answering my hundreds of emails. So lots of fun things to do here. Thank you all for joining me on this beautiful Monday. Thank you all for the 47 thumbs up and 5 thumbs down. I shouldn't have said that thing about gummy bears. Alrighty, well anyway, I'll see you all next time. I hope you all have a fantastic day and week. But until then, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.